New Jersey. So happy to have some time with you together on this Tuesday afternoon. We are so happy and thankful to have technology to connect to you during this time. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to hopefully inspire you and educate you and engage you a little bit during this time that we're sheltering in place. There are so many important issues that we've had the opportunity to talk about over the last few weeks. And today is definitely a conversation that is so important. And, I'm so happy and grateful that these ladies have been able to make the time to join us today because, during this time that we're sheltering in place, I have to say the nonprofit community is probably busier than ever with those of us that are working with kind of an essential work, right out there, boots on the ground. And so I know what their schedules are like, and I know how busy they are serving the community. I'm so grateful that they're making the time to talk with us. During this time is, we always have an issue every day, unfortunately, about food insecurity and housing concerns. These are always challenges that our communities face. But unfortunately, this pandemic and the current situation with so many people, being furloughed and put on unemployment and so many people being ill, it has increased the need and the issue exponentially. And we thought it was important to have a conversation today to make sure that those of us in our community understand what's happening and also know about the resources and services that are out there to help anyone, whether it's somebody watching or somebody that that might need help. And, just important if you're someone that has the opportunity that you can provide some support or help yourself, that we talk about ways that you can do that. So with that, I'd like to introduce my guest today. We have Nicole Davis, who is a special events manager for Center for Food Action. Center for Food, she'll tell us a little bit about the work of Center for Food Action herself. It's a amazing organization that serves Bergen County and Passaic counties, and she herself focuses on relationship building and sponsorships and corporate donations and development for the organization. So we're so happy to have Nicole here. And also joining us is Joy Ingilizian, who is the contract administrator for Center for Food Action, and she administers the grants. And she also supports the emergency services program. And in her role, she has an important job of the day-to-day operation of the homeless prevention program, securing funding, and interfacing with the community to make sure that they have the resources needed to run the organization. And last but not least, we have Adele Latourette, who is the director of Hunger Free New Jersey, which is a program that's under the umbrella of Center for Food Action. And she works with policymakers and advocacy groups in an effort to increase access to critical hunger, anti-hunger programs like SNAP and school breakfast. School breakfast efforts are obviously really key in keeping our children fed. And right now, when schools are not open, it is definitely a challenge for how we for having so many children that are, having even more food insecurity issues. So I want to thank Joy, Adele, and Nicole for joining me today. Again, I feel and know personally how busy you all are right now. And let me start by saying thank you for your service to our community. We are so grateful for what you do every day, but we also know that right now you've had to kick it up a notch and that you guys are all doing it tenfold. So Nicole, maybe we can start with you, just in case anyone watching isn't familiar with Center for Food Action. Could you tell us a little bit about the organization and some of the services that you provide?
Sure, absolutely. So Helen, just want to extend a note of gratitude to you and your team for having CFA and Hunger Free on today. And on behalf of Patricia Espy, our executive director, she sends her regards. So everyone knows, or who, from an informational standpoint, the mission of the Center for Food Action is to prevent hunger and homelessness and to improve the lives of those families living in poverty. So we have a little bit of an adjustment to our mission statement because now we are really incorporating a disenfranchised population, because 6 weeks ago, some people were not our clients because they were gainfully employed and living life as we all hope to do. And all of a sudden, the pandemic hit, and now they are experiencing unemployment, loss of income, and those types of things. And they have had to come to CFA for assistance. So we turn no one away, because we understand that the essentials in this life are food, shelter, and clean water, to help us get started with our basic living experience. So there are 100 towns that we service in northern New Jersey. That includes the 72 towns in Bergen County and 28 towns in Upper Passaic County. We have pantries located in Englewood, Hackensack, Saddlebrook, Mahwah, and Ringwood, and also a pantry on the campus of Bergen Community College to address college hunger. But that pantry is closed at this time. So we really work to bridge the gap. We have some specialty programs. We do a farmer's market, which is seasonal, and we service Moonachie and Englewood and senior housing. And then we do our infamous snack pack program, where we pack snacks and they go to after school programs and school programs to prevent weekend hunger. So later on in our conversation, we'll talk a little more about the expansion of that because school is now closed. So those are some of the basics that we do. Joy and Adele will talk about the other elements of what our mission is.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that detail. And, you know, again, I'm not sure if everyone was aware, but it's good for people to know the scope of your work and the imprint of where you serve, because whether someone needs it themselves or whether they know someone in the community, it's important for them to be able to link to you all. So Joy and Adele, so tell us a little bit about what increases that you all have seen in your areas since the pandemic has started.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. Thanks, Helen and YWCA for having us, highlighting what we do year round, and now that we have to answer the call to the pandemic. Speaking to the emergency food situation in the last month in April, we've had an increase of about 220% of what we did last April. Mm-hmm. So food insecurity is the greatest need that we've been seeing in the last month since we started our new food distribution. And we've had to change how we distribute our food because of the social distancing call. So we've been packing up boxes, and families are coming. We're setting up in our parking lot. Families are coming drive by and picking up their food. So there's been a big increase in the last month for sure since last year. The program that I operate is the Homelessness Prevention Program, and that's the program where we offer financial and emergency assistance to clients year round, security deposit assistance, rental assistance, and utility assistance. Now, because of the mandate from the state that says a landlord cannot evict at this time, we haven't seen a lot of those requests for rental arrears. But we have been doing security deposits and first month's rent. A lot of people I guess they secured housing before, and it's affordable housing. And for our clients they need to meet the requirement of 250% at or below the poverty line. So they can't afford a first month's rent plus a security. And now some people seeing, they've been out of work for a few weeks now. So those are the calls we've been receiving. In terms of our homelessness prevention, we're state funded mainly, and it's administered through Bergen County Divisions of Human Services. And if anyone listening to the call wants to know about any of the resources for financial assistance or any other assistance, they can go to 211, which is also now the New Jersey Homeless Hotline. So you can go to 211. Also, the Bergen County website.
Thank you. That's some great information. And we'll be sure to put that phone number on our comments here so anyone watching can know to reach there. And also the County of Bergen website will link that as well so people know where to go for information. Adele, tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in your part of the organization.
Sure, and I want to just echo what my coworkers say and say thank you for the opportunity. So what Hunger Free New Jersey does is we work to change policy and practice to make sure all New Jerseyans have access to healthy food every day. And what we have been seeing, certainly on the emergency food level, because we have been doing some work with emergency food providers across the state, really echoes exactly what's happening at the Center for Food Action in Bergen County. Just massive increases, massive surges in the number of people coming, new families, new people being served. We are working very hard and working with the state and the state departments to expand access to the federal feeding programs. And I have to say the state departments have really been working hard on this. So for at least the months of April and May, SNAP benefits have been maximized to all households on SNAP, which is great. The feds will decide if that continues on a month-by-month basis. But that, for example, takes a senior citizen from an average benefit of $15 a month up to $194 a month. So that's a huge increase and makes a significant difference. I think the thing in fact, I know the thing we're most concerned about right now is schools have been serving school meals really universally in districts across the state. That, at this point, is slated to end on June 30th. And again, that's a major concern because we know that emergency food providers simply cannot pick up the numbers in terms of the kids being served. So we are working with our federal delegation to try and expand those waivers. Also, the state just received authority to do pandemic EBT, which is basically the cost of school meals, a supplement to free and reduced price households, kids who were receiving free and reduced price meals. So those benefits will go out directly to SNAP households, and then they will be mailed to other free and reduced price households. There is some discussion at the federal level of making that go through the entire summer. While we do have a summer food service program, it doesn't feed nearly the number of kids that we do during the school year. And I think what this pandemic has done is highlighted that fact. Every summer, we see an increase at charities, emergency food pantries across the state having to feed more kids. And I think it's time that we look at the policies and practices that have been in place for years and where those gaps are and where the holes are, and work and identify them through this pandemic and then work to really fix them.
Yes, I think there's, we've had the opportunity to have a few conversations with different areas that highlight, different social problems. And I guess that's really what the hope is from here, is that so many of the issues we're struggling that suddenly got, spotlighted, significantly through this pandemic. Obviously, we knew about. They were not new to us, but they clearly got magnified significantly. And our hope is that when we go back to normal, whenever and whatever that is, that the spotlight does not leave from these issues, and that we take this as a calling and an opportunity to be able to mobilize and address them. So I'm grateful that you shared, that detail, because I do think, when we ask and share these conversations with the community, we do them for a number of reasons. Obviously, as I said, we do them because we want to make sure that anyone needing the service knows how to get them. We want to make sure that even if someone doesn't need the service, if they're talking to someone and learn that they do, they'll have that information now to make the connection. But I know that there are many people out there who want to help. And definitely, there's different ways that they can help, but one of the ways is definitely to get on the phone with their elected officials and reinforce the importance of the policies and the initiatives that you're discussing and referencing here. Adele, is there some place that if an individual watching wants to learn more about them, a site that we could direct them to get more educated on these issues so that they can,
Absolutely.
write a postcard, send an email, make a phone call to be able to
Mhm.
support initiatives for all of us?
They can go to our website, which is hungerfreenj.org, to find out more information. And then our federal partner is FRAC, F as in Frank, RAC.org. And there's a whole raft of information as to what's happening federally. I think at this point, really, where so many of the issues are is at the federal level.
Mhm.
But I do want to also say that if you are in need of SNAP, if you want to apply for SNAP benefits, you can do it online at njhelps.org. We know that there's a backlog of people. The county welfare agencies are operating on skeleton staffs across the state. So it's just important to get your name in, to file your application and date your application, because the date of your application is the date from when your benefits start. And also to do further research, again, you can find information on our website about what verifications, what paperwork you need to file in tandem with your application and where you can drop that off. So that's all key information for people to have to access the SNAP program, which is really the front line of defense against hunger.
And again, for everyone watching, as I'm sure you might be seeing, our amazing YW team who hovers from afar is noting all of these websites and these places where you can get more information and access to services in the comments of this Facebook Live. So please be sure to visit those sites to follow up. So, Nicole, maybe let's talk for a moment a little bit about the numbers of the clients that we're seeing and who are they? I know that in other conversations that we've had, with other, issues that have come to light during this pandemic, that we have seen a disproportionate number of women of color, of families of color that have been impacted by this pandemic and the issues. What are we seeing here with this issue and the clients that you're seeing?
So, as Joy was saying, in the pandemic, our numbers have doubled, almost tripled. So, in April of last year, we serviced 2,636 adults, and this month we did 6,244 adults. So most families are a 1-to-3 ratio, so one adult and then two more children. So it is growing exponentially. That's probably all total about a 248% increase. In our Englewood and Hackensack pantry locations, we have seen between 8 and 900 families in the month. We have changed our servicing plan, as Joy said, to make room for social distancing. So it is a grab and go.
Mm.
Must make an appointment. So there are two ways to make an appointment. You can make an appointment online, or you can make an appointment by calling one of our centers. Our centers service people based upon the catchment area. So live determines which one of our outlets you will go to. So we can put our main number up, which is 201-569-1804, extension 11. We certainly can put that up. And then www.cfanj.org. And right on the home page, it will take you to the catchment areas. So it's a 24-hour turnaround when people call, and then we slot them in for the grab and go. Now, for those that are disabled or without transportation, we are now in partnership with the Sheriff's Department here in Bergen County and also a volunteer arm in Passaic County, and we can arrange a drop-off of food. So right now we are doing emergency food boxes, which our operations team has expanded what's in them meal-wise. So there is meat, there is produce, there is cheese, there's eggs. So we really try to bridge the gap so that they can really have a full plate of food, a full complement of food. So we're trying to keep pace. We are just like the grocery stores in the supply chain delay. But thankfully, based upon our relationships and people understanding what is happening, food is coming in and we are able to service the needs of the community.
And I really just have to give a shout out to your team, how creative everyone has been, and so quickly to be able to figure out a new way to do business, because we needed to do that. And I know that we had to do that at the YW, so I do understand what that takes. I also want our viewers to know, and especially if there's other nonprofit providers watching, we recently with our clients at the YWCA had a few clients come forward during their treatment and service that had identified that either both family members had COVID and they were not able to get out and get food for their families, for their children, that they had been laid off from work and they were experiencing the financial challenge of being able to pay for food and other issues. And I just want to share that we did connect with Center for Food Action, and we were able within that 24-hour period to get them hooked up to the opportunity to either be part of coming through and picking it up or having it delivered to their home in the situation where both parents were ill. So, I like to think of our nonprofit community as a safety net. Together we weave the that net together, and we need to work together and work aligned. There's no territory in this work. There's enough, unfortunately, for all of us to do. And we do it better when we're shoulder to shoulder doing it together. So I just want the nonprofit community to know that please reach out and call and ask questions on behalf of your clients. Make sure you're asking your clients, what they need and how they're, surviving through this time. And know that, organizations like Center for Food Action are here to help and, we'll work with you. So I just want to share those stories, just to show that it was easy as figuring out that there was an issue and making the link to getting the help. And not that at all that it was an easy issue to, for the individuals to deal with, but we were able to, close the loop quickly. So let's kind of finish off with, I think, another important piece. And again, if we're watching the links to everybody, you'll see that all the conversations we're having, the team is sharing phone numbers and websites to be able to connect to resources. So please feel free to utilize them. So for people watching, obviously we've given them a lot of information about how to access services and whether it's for them or for someone that they may come in contact with need them. But for others watching that maybe are either in, disbelief that the issue is so great or, really feeling like that they want to help, can you let us know some ways that people can help right now? And, I also know that people watching may want to help, but they may be in a challenging situation themselves financially. So if that is the case, what options for them? So if you could just, give us some information, that would be great.
So I'll begin, and certainly my colleagues will weigh in. One of the ways that people can help is they can go to our website, Hearing. We are taking small groups of volunteers using social distancing because some of the food needs to get packed in our warehouse. So I'm going to say something and I'm going to put the caveat on it. I don't want people to get weird about it. We're asking people that are underneath 60 that do not have outlying health challenges to come into the volunteer space. So it's not ageism by any stretch of the imagination. It is safety first and health first. So, if you've got a couple of your kids that are home from college and they can come out and mask up, glove up, hand sanitize themselves and help us pack and move boxes, that's a great thing. They're very small shifts. Our volunteer coordinator is more than willing to work with people in that way. So that is one way that you can come out and be of assistance. And just so you know, at this point, we are not accepting food donations for a number of different reasons. So one, it's the logistics of accepting and vetting and cleaning and stocking. And then it's because of COVID. So, we just want to be clear. At some point, we will turn the faucet back on and be able to accept those donations and things that people do, because our model is an in-kind model plus purchased food. So the purchased food certainly comes from the generous donations from the community and the grants and things of that nature. So that is one way that people can help. And they can also just sign up to volunteer for later on, because we're going to need to replenish our volunteer pool. I subscribe to unequal giving is equal sacrifice. We have 3 hours, and that's one a month. That's great. There's somebody else who has 10 hours for a month. That's better, but it's all the same because we need all the hands we can get.
That's wonderful. It makes it very easy to step in. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Julie, what are some other?
I just wanted to add that if you find yourself still in a position of great abundance, you can always do a food money donation on our website. Like Nicole said, we're having to buy more of the food now. So that's great. We're also doing gift cards, trying to get clients gift cards so they can go out and purchase their own food. So that's another way, again, that you can help with donations. The community has been answering the call, and we've been doing, pretty well with private donations. So we want to keep those coming in.
It's wonderful. And again, we'll put the links on here. So if anyone wants to reach out to volunteer or make a donation, that they can do that directly.
Yeah. And Helen, the other thing that I do want to highlight about the monetary donation is that $1, $10, $100, $20, it all helps. And as we are purchasing food, we're purchasing food in a different way. So you can go to the ShopRite or any other grocery store and be excited. I bought 20 cans for $2 and I'm giving them to CFA. CFA probably for your $2 can buy 60 cans because of the relationship. So we love the from the heart moment if that works for people. And we also love the donation model because we can stretch the dollar. That's
great. Adele, anything you want to add to this conversation about how people can help support
No,
now?
I think absolutely. If they're in the county, if they're in Bergen County, they can absolutely help the Center for Food Action. And otherwise, I think there are food pantries and food banks all across the state, and they should do a Google search and see if they're taking volunteers. And again, I think Nicole is absolutely right. We really need to make sure that those people stay safe. So I know there are requirements around that. So yeah, reach out and see who you can help. There's a lot of need.
Yes, and I know I was watching New Jersey 12 this week, and I saw a wonderful story about the pantries across the state and the way that they were giving, and your program was mentioned as well. So we know that this is unfortunately something that is happening across the state. And so if we do have viewers, as Adele said, that are not from Bergen County and not working in the northern Passaic County area, but you do want to make an impact, if you even call, I'm sure the Center for Food Action, they would help you get up to the appropriate program in your area. But some of the other sites that we have here, I'm sure we'll link you to where to connect as well. So again, I really want to thank you all for taking the time. Again, I know how, your schedules have gotten, obviously talking about the numbers, we know that the staff has not increased. And we know that the money has, become even more challenging for everyone in terms of our donations and all of our events, our special events, everything that as organizations and nonprofits we do right now have all hit pause, like the rest of, New Jersey has right now. So it definitely is challenging. So the support of being a volunteer or making a donation really goes a long way. And especially when, we see it being so critical with numbers, doubling in such a short period of time and having such need. And unfortunately, and I, believe this to be true, this is not like on June 5th, we're going to flip the switch and everything's going to go back to the way it was. This is a situation that unfortunately, the impact of it likely will increase and add to these numbers over time. And we have to be able to support, organizations like Center for Food Action to be able to have the capacity to be able to support our community. So all watching, I hope that you, take the time to learn a little bit more. I hope that this was good information for you. And again, even if it's not something that you can use, I'm happy that you know it and hopefully can share it with others in your life. And if there's someone in your life that you think should have seen this show but wasn't watching today, no, don't fear. This will live on our Facebook page. It's very easy for them to come back and watch it at any point. It'll also be in our YouTube channel. And we do encourage you to let the people in your life know we can really make an impact in our community by having knowledge. And, this is an opportunity for you to do that. So thank you again, ladies, for sharing this important information. Big shout out to you and your team for all that you're doing. And, we continue to support you. And, the sisterhood here at the YW stands with you, as you know, and we'll continue to do so. For everybody watching, we thank you for taking this time today to be with us. We hope that you can join us tomorrow. We have a wonderful treat for you. Sandra Ciano, who is with Web Design for Women, is going to focus a conversation for us, for our small business owners. We know that overnight your business model had to change, and websites have really become the focus of your business and how to get it out there on top of using social media. So Sandra, who is an expert in the field and herself just launched a wonderful podcast, so we're going to get to talk to her about that. But she's going to talk to us a little bit how to optimize your website during the times of COVID. And on Friday, we also have another special treat for you. Two of the biggest networking gurus we have in New Jersey, Linda Wellbrook and Tara Gilvar, who run two of the largest networking entities we have here, usually and around the country, will be joining us to talk about how to network during this time that we're social distancing, which it's a different skill, but still so important. Whether you're looking for a job, whether you're trying to help an organization like Nicole and Adele and Joy are doing. Whether you are a small business owner, whether you're in corporate America, still an important piece of getting out there and staying engaged. So we look forward to talking with them. For everyone, we hope you're staying healthy. We hope that you're minding your mind, check in when you need to, check out when you need to, take care of yourselves and the people around you, and know that the YW and organizations like Center for Food Action are here for you, and let us know how we can help. Be well, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.